So not to be too Christianese or anything, but something I feel like that God has been putting on my heart is that I ought to make this little vlog mini series talking about my own porn struggle, so as to maybe it'll be a way to help temper down some of my own porn addiction as I go public with some of it. I won't get too TMI about it, but just some of it anyways. Some of my struggles with porn itself and how it has affected me, some of the side tangents kind of relating to the subject and all that jazz. And who knows, maybe hopefully by the time that this video series is all said and done, I will have gained like an accountability partner. Some of you might be able to be committed to help me like get control of my own porn addictions. Maybe the posting of this video will help some other people watching this as well. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, we can all help each other with my video series here being just at least a starting point for that. And might I add, just as a little disclaimer to this video, this might get quite crude, lewd, and a little bit explicit with what I'm going to mention here. So if you do not like blunt descriptions of what exactly that I'm going to describe to y'all and whatnot, well then you have been warned. And this is not going to be like my typical usual format of where that I try to do this all in one clip or whatever. It's probably going to be like something that I do over the course of the next few days or weeks even. So excuse the fact that if my background or whatever fluctuates of my change of clothes or whatever. Now, probably safe to say that I, like most people, and I'm probably not unique in this, but I have a little bit of a porn addiction, or maybe not so much an addiction, but an affinity at least. Like, I'm not one of those, like, completely, like, must look at it on the hourly basis, on the daily basis, and masturbate on the daily basis, like one of those, like, extreme coomers or anything like that. Although there have been some points of where that it ended up being a daily basis, especially I think there was a stint in maybe late 2017 and going through most of 2018 that I might have been doing it daily, or at least close to daily or something like that. But nowadays I like realize the wrongness of it and some of the unhealthiness of it in general, and so therefore I am like doing my best to try and keep it down to a something lower at least. I don't know if it's ever going to go away entirely. In fact, I don't know if this is to Christians it'd be like me like doubting God or anything like that, or if it's just me being a realist, but might still ultimately happen, like to some extent or another. I mean, let's be honest here. It's not like that there is any other physical feeling that feels more good than that of an orgasm. I mean, there is some emotional feelings that I would argue feel better than an orgasm, like having some positive and wholesome time with friends or family, just in general. But as far as physical feelings go, I don't think I can name one that feels better than an orgasm. I mean, just to be quite bluntly honest, anyways. Actually, there is one physical feeling that I just thought of that does feel better, arguably, than an orgasm, and that is getting yourself a good pump, you know? We were at the gym, you've spent like an hour of working out, and then you do an extra 1 to 3 workouts when you're like really sore, and you like get that good old muscle pump going. Like, even if I get married, who knows, maybe I'll like end up like, you know, masturbating to like pictures of my wife, if ever, whenever I eventually do get one. But as a bit of a side tangent, what do you guys think? Is it like even considered technically porn if it's like nude pictures of your own spouse that you are jerking it to? Because I actually have a brother-in-law who says that that is not defined as porn. If it's like nudes of your wife, no, that's not porn. I mean, I think that's a little bit weird definition right there, but what do you all think? And tell me in the comment section down below, what do you think? But even after like being baptized for the second time in my life, that is, like the first time that I ever got baptized, I was like 19 or 20, something like that. But when I gone thinking about that in more recent years, it felt like that one was kind of fake, because the pastor at the time that baptized me, he was one of those kind of peer pressuring, like baptism is required for your salvation kind of theologians. He had that theological belief that baptism is required just as much as accepting of Jesus's sacrifice for you to get up to heaven. And so part of me thought that I was only doing it because of that reason. So after years of consideration, I did it again, that being last year in November. And yet after that, I'm still like pretty much struggling, like not only just looking, but still like, jerking it off. And I'll be honest, I am quite ashamed of it, or at least a little ashamed of it anyways. I'll get into more of that later, and I'm especially ashamed of the whole masturbation part. Maybe not as much the looking part, and I'll get into that more later as well. And I guess this like segues me into answering the question of what are you not ashamed of looking at exactly, Zach? Because when people hear the word porn, they think multitude of things, depending on your definition. There are even some people out there who have the definition to go so far to say that even a woman with big boobs is pornographic. Like, she's not showing any bit of them, like not super tight to where it like shows off like shape of her nipples or even show any cleavage or anything else like that, but just the fact that they have big boobs that are kind of hard to hide, that gets described as pornographic by some people. And some Christians might go ahead and say that those particular super prudish trad cons that I just described are like idiots, or at least wrong. You can go ahead and say that. I mean, and I'll agree with you too, but still, that just goes to show the wide variety of definitions of what's considered pornographic is. So it gets kind of murky and hard to define. What is pornographic and what do you watch? Is it actually defined as porn? And what do you want to ban or not ban? And, what is defined as porn that should be banned, etc. Maybe I'll go ahead and link the video of where that ranting monkey and Jack, they go reacting to some people who are freaking out about this one lady named Isabella DeLuca, who was wearing a shirt that wasn't totally completely baggy, but it was still obvious that she was very well endowed, and so that was described as pornographic to some people. This is the reason why that I hesitate to say that I am like porn addicted or anything like that, because by some definitions, what I get off to might not even be classified as porn to people. Like, I don't like the very second that I see like a dude's dick, I get like turned off from it. Like, typically when people think of like porn, especially the hardcore variant, they think of like two people like having intercourse with each other, a dude penetrating a woman. But the moment that I see some other dude's dick, it's quite the turnoff for me. So I don't look at that. I don't even like look at lesbian porn for that matter. And I'm not. And like I said in my one video from a few years ago talking about porn bans and libertarianism, I also mentioned that I'm not particularly turned on with at the sight of a woman's vagina. And think of that as what you will, but whatever. I mean, I'm not turned off by it necessarily, but it's not my main go-to of things. What I end up looking at is more amateurs, single people like taking sexy poses, or specifically women. I do not know why I just left it at people. Anything else like that. I don't know how much that I want to go into detail of it, and I've even like I've even like found myself be able on occasion to get off to a woman who is like pretty much fully clothed, but she's very curvy, but she's still kind of clothed. She's not naked. And maybe with what I just said there, maybe I just gave a little bit of evidence to those super prudish tradcons that go saying that big boobs are pornographic or whatever. But still, that's how I can be sometimes with my lusts. Maybe there's like cleavage or something like that. Sometimes it's animation, sometimes it's sexy drawings. But I guess what I'm just ultimately trying to say is that it's not one real person doing it with another real person and they're recorded doing it. An honest question to all the straight guys within my audience. Doesn't it seem just a little bit gay to be like jerking it to a video of another dude penetrating a woman? Like you're literally like watching someone else's dick penetrate into a woman. And the thing that I get told in response to me is that you're supposed to imagine that's your own dick that is penetrating the woman. And just like I can't get into that mindset. I just can't. Not knowing exactly how to end this video, but I thought I would just let you all know that this is a multi-part series by somebody very close and personal in my life. I am vying to make this a multi-part series. So stay tuned for part 2.